Kia ora, my name's Will and I've previously submitted a few projects to ASB Bright Sparks. This is an upgrade from my LifeBoat project, which I submitted last year, and a lot has changed since then. The LifeBoat project is all about helping those with the likes of anxiety or depression be heard and get support. Speaking up is one of the biggest barriers for anyone with these conditions. I know that well, as I was one of them once. It takes months or years to build up the courage to talk to someone about this, which is why I designed LifeBoat. LifeBoat is a chatbot for the Discord platform, which is here to listen and help you. The code looks at the input text from messages and scans it for keywords, and based on the information that it can gather, the bot will find an appropriate response from the response database. My main focus with LifeBoat is to help people build up courage to speak to someone about these conditions and find help. Another feature with LifeBoat is to have someone always ready to talk to you. LifeBoat provides in-the-moment supports like grounding techniques and advice for when you're not feeling great. When I started LifeBoat, I knew I was going to run into two big problems. Hosting LifeBoat would require expensive hosting or running a server 24/7 from home. And what about creating a database for what anyone could say and what the bot would say back? For my problem with hosting, I decided to invest in an Intel compute stick, which is a mini computer drawing very little power. I will use this as a server to host the chatbot. I tried to install a copy of Windows 7 optimized for server computers, but with the hardware of the Intel compute stick, it wouldn't allow me to install this version of Windows. So I was stuck with Windows 10. I decided to turn off a lot of Windows 10 features that used up a lot of system resources and decided to host LifeBoat there. For creating a database, I decided just to add ideas onto an Excel spreadsheet, and whenever I thought of something, I'd just add it. With the issues somewhat sorted, I went ahead and created a prototype in Visual Basic, a programming language that I'm fluent with. I incorporated most of the message recognition techniques along with some debugging commands. This way I could test how the bot would behave. I've included this prototype in my entry to ASB Bright Sparks. The code works by using an if statement to check if the message includes certain keywords. If this is true, the code will either use more if statements to narrow down what the user is trying to say, or choose a reply from my database. Once I was happy with my prototype, I began the process of converting it into a Discord bot. This involved using Node.js and the Discord.js library. Most of the converting task just involved replacing the syntax to work with Node.js and JavaScript. This involved changing out a few of the characters and integrating the Discord.js library, which allows it to connect to the Discord API. From here on, I decided to keep adding to my Excel spreadsheet of questions and answers, and decided to try set up my Discord bot to run on my Intel compute stick. I used Task Scheduler to set up the Discord bot to launch when the computer launched, and I also decided to use Forever NPM, which would restart it if the bot ever ran into any issues. So what do you think of LifeBoat, and how do you think it can help people?
I think it's a great app. I think it's so cool because there's so many other chatbots out there, but there's nothing like this one that is specifically developed to help with people's mental health. I think it'll help people be able to build up the courage to go and speak to someone and get further professional help.
And that's the hardest part, because, you know, the hardest part I experienced myself was to talk to someone about what I was going through.
Yeah, and that's the same with me. It took me ages to build up the courage to go and see a counsellor or something like that, and maybe if there was something like this to help me, I would have been able to build up the courage and reach further professional help earlier.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a great app for Kiwis, as we have a very high suicide rate.
And, you know, by 2025, 80% of the world's population will suffer from some kind of mental health condition.
And it's crazy to believe, so I think it's a great idea to be able to put out more free services to help with mental health.
For testing the code, I've included my prototype, which is standalone, so it doesn't require the server to be running. I've also included the code for my prototype if you want to take a look at that. I've also included my Discord.js bots programming, just so you can see what that looks like as well. There's a lot more to come with LifeBoat, and I'm looking forward to sharing my project with the world, and hopefully help some people fighting through the likes of anxiety and depression, which is the reason that I was inspired to make this as I experienced it myself. LifeBoat can help many people, and I hope that I can get this out to the world and help someone.